Everybody, a little bit of windshield time today as we've been working, getting caught up. I actually spent the last couple of days in Lake Tahoe attempting to snowboard, which is what I say whenever I go to snowboard, because snowboarding is hard and I'm out of shape and not good at it. But if you've never been to Lake Tahoe, probably out of the 48 local states, the most beautiful. Alaska's very beautiful. Been there a couple times, but man, Lake Tahoe, the top there. I've only been to Heavenly. The mountain is just unbelievable, and I would recommend it to anyone to go there. So let's talk about what is setting up to be probably the most chaos. I would say definitely the most chaos we've seen since 2022. Boy, I wish I could go back and pull the videos from 2025 whenever I was staying this for the last several months and months and months and months. And this is what I was saying was going to happen. Boy, sometimes it feels good. Again, I'm not saying I'm right yet. In real estate, you don't necessarily know you're right until you look back, in the couple months. But I've been saying spring of 26 is going to be the hottest spring since 2022. It will not be like 2022, but it's definitely going to be way crazier than what it's been in 23, 24, and 25. And one of the big reasons, the other note here, is rates are now in the fives. Ooh, 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 ooh. Even conventional loan rates are in the fives. FHA, VA, you are seeing mid fives with no rate point buy downs, no nothing, right? You got good credit. That is incredible. I do think we probably got to get to the low fives until arguably the market can get back to a little bit out of hand. So I do think we're kind of in that little bit of happy place, as long as it's kind of in that, higher fives, mid fives as far as your prime. And then of course FHA and VA are usually, 0.3 to 0.5 lower than that. That's always good to see those rates lower. So what we've been experiencing, and by we, meaning our team, our brokerage, so we have, 20, soon to be 26 people, at our brokerage, and 20 plus full-time agents basically. So we work with a ton of buyers and sellers, right? Closed 316 contracts last year. We're on pace to absolutely crush that. I'm not a goal guy, so we don't have like a certain number or anything, but we're definitely on pace to do probably over 400 transactions, this year, which would be crazy. We have probably over 50 listings, and probably 2/3 of our business is 50 active listings. Some are under contract, but 2/3 of our business is probably on the buy side. But we get to see enough of both sides to where I get to see the behavior of buyers and sellers. And for me, I probably keep just on my sphere, friends, family, and people just that contact me directly. I probably keep 5 to 10 pending contracts going at all times while also helping a bunch of people. So, I see it, but probably most of my business, 70% of my business, 70-30 is probably listing side, 30% is buyer side. So again, I see a good chunk, of everything in all price points, from, your small land deals to, your average home, 250 to, 400. And then, we have some luxury, priced homes. So we get to see the buyer behavior. We cover 60 miles around Knoxville. So we get to see all of it, right? All of it from a macro level. And then there's also all the little micro markets in there. But I can tell you what we are seeing. We are seeing activity and transactions pick up. So what I mean by activity is the amount of arguably showings that are happening, showings on listings that we've had listed for months, coming out of nowhere, like several a week, when these houses, sometimes in November and December didn't even have one showing. We're seeing this activity naturally pick up. We're seeing offers come in unexpectedly in homes that we've had listed for months. Get good, decent offers and not those lowball offers, and they get these things accepted. I had a listing recently, actually this past week, go active. We did a coming soon, go active, and we had a tremendous amount of showings. And I told the sellers, I was like, we're probably a little overpriced here, but we'll see. They weren't any type of desperation. Based on where they wanted to be at. We didn't get full ask price for it, but we did get multiple offers. And so that's what I want to talk about, meaning activity, right? I told them I haven't seen multiple offers, like true multiple offers, in a long time. And again, it's not like 2022 and 2021 where people were way above. We had some good offers, and for, I would think, any seller, especially if they've been on the market a week, you're going to take that. And even our numbers, we kind of just, I figured they would probably take it. It was a good offer. Well, the offer they accepted, good offer, but we had multiple offers. Crazy. Didn't expect it. A house listed tip top notch. The activity, and the dang thing had like 8 showings on it in 2 days. That's been a rarity the last 2 years, especially. 24 and 25 were record low transactions in real estate nationally. I do think we kind of fell into that category here. So we're seeing transactions pick up, we're seeing contracts pick up, but I think what we're not seeing, right, is we're not really, and I don't think the market's ever going to get back there. You're going to have some micro outliers, some anomalies, but for the most part, looking at it as a big whole, you're not really going to see a whole lot of above asking, and when you do, or major contingency waivings, I don't think we're going to get back to that. We have too much inventory. When that was happening, guys, we had 1,000, we had less than 1,000 homes total. Now we have, I think it's like 6,300 active homes for sale, and then when you actually add in the Great Smokies, which is still kind of included here in East Tennessee, they just do it MLS differently because it's a money grab. When you add that in, you're probably closer to high 6,000s, adding the cabins in and all that stuff. But I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to see homes go pending quicker than what we're used to. I did some research with an investor a couple weeks ago, and our average time on market is like 80 days, and that graph looked like this. I mean, it's just skyrocketing. But I do think that graph is naturally going to kind of come back down there as far as your time on market, because these buyers that are now doing their taxes, they're ready to go, especially if they have bought before. You have all the sellers that's been sidelined the last couple years, not wanting to change their 3 or 4% to 3 or 4% rate in for a 7 or 8%. Now they can change it in for a 5%. Not a big deal, because they've got hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity in their home they've been sitting on. And so they're okay to bite the bullet, because they're just going to roll that equity into the next one, and their payment is just going to be insane, like it would have been at a 7%. I mean, you're talking a $300,000 house at 7% versus 5.5%. I mean, drastic difference in your payment. Several hundreds of dollars difference a month, just in interest. So I think that's where we're at, and we know the new Fed chair will change there in June when Trump puts a new guy in. Now, again, it doesn't directly affect mortgage rates. There's lots of other factors that go into, Fed dropped it, but then mortgage rates go up, right? So there's lots of other factors, but it's setting up. I mean, if something happens there, what my prediction is, right, real hot spring, real hot kind of Q2, and then as we get into August, it should kind of taper back off a little bit, slow back down to kind of what it's been doing through the holidays, unless rates do something that is not necessarily predicted, which, again, no one's predicted that rates are going to be into the 4s. Something like that happened, then yeah, we could see the market, because what that does is that allows investors to come back in. And even me personally, I think we probably have at least 3, if not 4 properties that we own that is the rates are in the 7s. And boy, if I can refinance those, and here's how the game is played, right? I can refinance those, and probably each one of those, because we've had them for so long, and the deals that we got on them, improvements we've done, probably get, anywhere between $20,000 to $50,000 out in refinance, meaning more money to me in my pocket that is tax-free because I'm refinancing it. So do that. That's more money to me than as long as we buy more properties, and yet my payment probably stays the same and potentially even goes down. I know some of them we have like 7.5, 7.6. They're only making like $100 a month, but the cost seg was great. I knew when rates come down, it would be a good rental. It's going to pay, $400 to $600 a month in cash flow versus the 100. So it's kind of like, I'm pre-investing right by it now because of the situation. So that's what I want to share with you all. I think for buyers right now, you're going to have to move quicker than what you've been moving the last couple years. Make a decision quicker, the home's going to be gone. And for sellers, like, hey, yeah, you're going to sell your home probably quicker, but I still not. If you think that all of a sudden you're going to be getting full asking price, if you think all of a sudden that you're going to be getting above asking, or people not asking for a tremendous amount of repairs, humble yourself, because that's still not the case. If it happens, great, but that's still more on the rare side. You know, buyers are going to want closing costs. Buyers are going to want to negotiate hard. There's still inventory out there. You got to compare yourself to your neighbors that are listed for sale as well, right? So all those factors you got to really, really pay attention to for your home sale. So don't get too excited. But I mean, I think the sellers that's been on the market last 2 years, if you was to go and ask them, you know, their opinion on something, you know, they're going to say, hey, if you get a reasonable offer, you better take it and go. Otherwise, some of these sellers have been absolutely beat up. So if you ever have questions, holler anytime.